Hey guys, welcome to Selective Preparation for Power Mathematical Reasoning in Test 30. We're just going to be going through some questions from this test and hopefully you have a better understanding of what's going on. Question number 1. If Usain Bolt runs 800 centimeters per second and a car travels 720 kilometers per hour, how many times does the car travel as fast as the Olympian? Okay, so first thing we notice, or what we should notice, is that the units are different, and therefore, because units are different, we cannot compare these two values, right? So let's try and convert 720 kilometers per hour into meters, which would be 720,000 meters per hour, right? We could do it this way, or what's easier is to convert 800 centimeters per second into kilometers per hour. So let's do that instead. 800 centimeters would be 8 meters per second, right? And since we need it to be kilometers, it's going to be 0.08 kilometers. So if we move decimal 3 places, if it's here, 0.008 kilometers per second. If I were to rub this out, right? 0.08 kilometers per second. And right there, from here to here, I've just divided by 1000. That's all I've done. And because that's the case, then in a minute, which is 0.008 times 60 would be kilometers per minute. And so finally, it will be 0.008 times 60 times 60 again, because there's 60 minutes in an hour, guys, to give us kilometers per hour. Now, from this step, what we can do is just do 0.008 times 3,600, like that, which is the same thing as saying, now, if I say this is the same thing as 3.6 times 1,000, okay, then I can just times this 1,000 to the 0.008 to give you 3.6 times 8, which is the same as what? 424, 28.8. This would be 28.8 kilometers per hour. Now that we know that, we have to figure out how many times does a car travel as fast as Olympia. So 720, which is the speed of car, divided by 28.8 should give us our answer. Now, when we do this, we get exactly 25. So now we know that the car traveled 25 times quicker than the Olympian. Okay? So let's move on, go on to question number 2. Edgar's father recently passed away, leaving an inheritance of 1,450,800. He has 3 siblings who will receive different amounts in comparison to Edgar. He has an older sister who would receive twice as much. So let's write this information down. Older sister will receive twice as much, which refers to 2e. Now I'm going to let E Edgar be E. Or let what let the amount Edgar receives be E. If that's the case, if the amount that Edgar receives is E, then his older sister receives twice as much, so 2E. Then his younger brother, I'm just going to say younger B, is going to receive 1/4 of what the elder sister received, which is 1/4 of 2E. And so what else is there? And receives 1/4. His younger sister, so younger, I'm just going to call that S, is going to be half the amount of E. Okay, so the question says, how much does Edgar receive from inheritance? But we have another information that Edgar himself plus his siblings is equal to what? Is actually also equal to 1,450,800. Okay? At the same time, on the left hand side, this would be, this is equal to half E. Half E here plus this half E is 1 whole E. 1 whole E plus 2E is 3E. 3E plus this final E is 4E. So now that we know that 4E equals to 1,450,800, we just need to divide the answer by 4. Let's do that together. 1,450,800 divided by 4. 3 times 12, 2, 25, 6, 24, 10, 2, 8, 2, 8, 700. So I get $362,700, which is actually quite a lot. Okay, so that's option C, therefore. Okay guys, let's move on to the next question. So, next question reads, 1/6 of the area of the octagon has been shaded. If the octagon has an area of 312 squared centimeters, what is the value of x to the nearest whole centimeter? Now, at first, this may seem weird to solve, but we just need to go with what we know. If the area is 312 squared centimeters, and that's the area of the hexagon, and we also happen to know that 1/6 of the area is the triangle we're interested in. Let's just find that out first. Without any intention or goal, let's find out because we're given it. We get 52 squared centimeters. And here, it should actually ring a bell that the area of a triangle is 52 squared centimeters because the area is also equal to what? Area of triangle is equal to half times base times, and you guessed it, this what we're looking for, height, right? We want height. And we know that is equal to 52 squared centimeters as well. What do we know base to be? Base is 21 times height is 52. So let's times 2 to both sides to get rid of the half. We get 21 times h equals to 104. And so therefore h must be equal to 104 divided by 21. If we do that on the side here, 104 divided by 21, let's see how many times it goes in. 4 times, 84. Difference is 2. So we get 84 and 20 over 21 centimeters. That is approximately closest to 5 centimeters, which is why we choose C. Okay? Okay guys, let's move on to the next question. Question 4 reads, Emmanuel gets $35.50 per hour for making gourmet meals at an expensive restaurant. If he works 65 hours each week and has 6-week annual holiday, what is his yearly salary? Now, how do we work with this? First, we need to know what his yearly salary is. That's the question, isn't it? But in order to do that, we need to know how many weeks there are in a year, which is 52 weeks. Okay? But of that, he takes a 6-week annual holiday, meaning that the only hours that he actually works is 46 hours. Okay? Of those 46 hours, 46 weeks. My apologies. If he works 46 weeks for 65 hours a week, right? This is 65 hours per week. And each hour he gets paid $35.50. This should give us our answer, right? Okay, we do this, 46 times 65, what do we get? 30, 23, 36, 24, so 27, 992. Okay, we get 2,990 times 35.50. Okay, when we do the mathematics, just the multiplication, we should get $106,145. Okay, which is answer for D. Right, let's move on. Question number 5, ratios. Every ton of concrete needs 0.25 content of gravel. A gravel is made of 1 part rock, 2 parts soil, and 3 parts of smooth pebbles. How many kilos of pebbles would be needed for 200 tons of concrete to the nearest kilo? Okay, so let's just understand the situation first. If this is to be a ton of concrete, 0.5% of the content, so let's say that much, that shaded black, it's probably smaller than that, but 0.25%, let's say that's 0.25%, of that has to be gravel. Okay? If this whole thing is concrete, 0.25% of that has to be gravel. And we know, in that case, then of 200 tons or 200,000 kilograms of 200,000 kilograms of concrete, we would need to have 0.25% of that to be gravel. Okay? Now, 0.25% is not the same as a quarter, because remember, quarter is 1 over 4. Okay? And in this sense, this is 0.25% or 0.25 over 100. And so we get rid of the zeros. What do we get? We get 0.5. 0.5 tons. Okay, remember, it's still 0.5 tons of gravel. Okay, now, if of the 0.5 tons of gravel, what do we need? We need the pebbles. And if we have a look, out of the parts, pebble is 3 out of 6, as in 1 part rock, 2 parts soil, and 3 parts smooth pebbles. And then out of the 6 whole parts, half of them are pebbles. And we need to find out how much of this is pebbles. So half times 0.5 is 0.25 tons, which we know 1 ton is 1,000 kilograms. So we move the decimal place 3, 2, like that, over here to get 250 kilograms worth, which is the answer C. Now, key points from this test. Point number 1, when solving relative questions, put questions in terms of what you are looking for. And I obviously pulled this out from question number 2 with Edgar. Notice how I put everything in terms of Edgar, because in the end, that's what I want to use and find, right? I use Edgar to find that. So always, when dealing with relative questions, put equations in terms of what you're looking for. Point number 2, go off with what you want to know and are given. And obviously, I'm pulling this out from question number 3, where if you're unsure of what to do, just go along with the information given and try to figure out what you're looking for, okay? Even though it asks, try to figure out how I can work this out by using the information given. So just go for it. And part number 3, write down ratios identified. And where do I pull that out from? Question number 5, okay? If it's 0.25 of gravel, then you write down 0.25%, or the same thing as 0.25 over 100 or 25 over 1,000. Okay, these sort of ratios between materials is really important, and especially in this 1 part rock, 2 parts soil, etc. You need to know or establish or understand at least the ratios between these three actually materials to make the gravel. So yeah, always write your ratios down just so you don't get confused yourself. Okay, that was it, guys. I hope you guys learned something new and can take it to